Hello lads and ladies, and welcome back for another video on the channel. Today we are back with some more Sky Bet League One content. On this channel we provide League One content, League One live, but also League Two, as well as the Fleetwood Town vlogs as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe down below, and also if you could all give this video a like. Let's go. We'll go for a big one, 150 likes for a League One video. That's quite an ambitious one, because today we're going through 10 more Sky Bet League One unpopular opinions. Now, we tend to do this 3 times a season, once at the start of the season, once kind of in the first 2 to 3 months of the season, then once just after halfway, then one at the end of the year sometimes as well, if we're feeling kind of, out of content. But enjoy doing these. These are my opinions. They're called unpopular for a reason. So you might not agree with them. Some you might think, oh, I've got that opinion too. Might not be as unpopular as some. Let's get into it. So I've got two on Birmingham City that are going to combine into one. But I'm going to say, first of all, Jay Stansfield was a bargain. Now, he cost between 10 and 15 million pounds, whatever source you want to, look into. Now, the guy's 21, he's nearly 22. He played in the Championship last year, and he was part of the reason why they weren't relegated till match week 46. He's a young player. He will have a lot of value to him. Obviously got, a good, kind of footprint, obviously with his dad behind him as well, and, suffered from it from an early age. But that has spurred him on as a footballer, I think, as well, from having something so horrible happen to him so early on in his life. But also League One experience with Exeter City. And he's come in and scored 4 and 7 already. And people go, he should be doing that. But for a 21-year-old to be the highest ever, signed player in League One for 10 to 15 million pounds, the pressure could hit you, but not that bloke. It helps that he knows the football club, he knows the fans. And I think that Birmingham want to get into the Premier League in the next 3, 4, 5 years. Well, he'll get them up this year, which will, again, win them revenue to get back into the Championship with extra TV deals. Then when they're in the Championship, they'll be a competitive side. And if they go and do what Ipswich have done, all of a sudden then it pays it back in shirt sales, commercial value. And also Birmingham, bar the parachute payments to the relegated clubs from the Premier League, turned over the most money as well. So I think it was a bargain. And for me, currently, so when you look at players at their current ability while in League One, Paik and Iwata are the best centre midfielders to grace League One. Yes, you've got players that have gone on and played at a higher level. Like James Maddison at Coventry being one, Dele Alli, at MK Dons. But I look at these that they've got something about them. They've got aura, Iwata is just an absolute machine, and Paik in midfield just is the heartbeat of that team. And for me, they'll be the two reasons why they get promoted, alongside Stansfield as well. And they've got a couple of other good players. They're just about 6 wins away from safety, I believe, now. Third one is slightly, maybe not as controversial. Huddersfield Town. Now, I do think they'll get into the top 6 this year, and that is not my opinion. My opinion is I think they are the most boring and bland team to watch, but most effective side in League One. Now, this isn't just Huddersfield Town. This isn't their squad. This is a Michael Duff thing. Michael Duff's teams aren't vintage. They aren't great to watch, but he gets the job done in League One. And when he went to Swansea, that they want to play a certain style of football, I don't think it worked out for him because of that. His sides are battlers. They will win a game 1-0. He likes a 2-0 and he likes a 2-1. Well, Barnsley have loved a 2-1 and a 1-1 in recent years, especially at Oakwell. But you look at Huddersfield, they're getting the job done. They've lost a few games, obviously started well, then went on a bad run, very patchy. But in terms of performances, shots on target per game, they're not a great watch. I don't think they're a phenomenal team, so that doesn't help them. But they're not going to go and have 70% of possession every game. They're not going to go and have, blow the metrics away like a Birmingham would do, or maybe, like Wrexham are a great watch to watch, a great watch to watch on the eye as well. I just think they're a bit dull, but they get the job done, and that's what you need to do. Duff is perfect at that, and I do think they'll win the playoffs this year. I said that at the start of the year. In League One, there's a lot of teams that are very similar. You've got big budgets, then you've got teams that have to, scrape on limited resources. Lincoln City haven't got limited resources, but they've got a foundation because of the recruitment previously. Now, Lincoln, I think, have got the best recruitment and are one of the best well-run clubs in the EFL. Now, for me, they buy players that maybe aren't loved elsewhere, or pick up a gem maybe from the League of Ireland or a free agent. You look at, like a Jack Moylan and Ethan Arahan, who came from Scotland as well. So they find these players from different leagues. And I think Burton tried to go down this way this season, but tried to blend them all together. They go and get 5 or 6 players and add to the squad every window as well. And that adds up over 2-3 years. It adds up, and they've had to be patient at Lincoln. They've had good seasons, they've had bad seasons, but their fans are very patient, get behind the team a lot more than a lot of other clubs would do as well. And we're not going to be a 10 out of 10 every week. They might, over a course of 10 games, you might win 5, draw 2, lose 3. But if you do that over the course of the season, you're getting the playoffs, 1.7 points a game. That's enough, I would say, because you're looking at around about 75 points to get in. Well, that is 75 points. So I think the recruitment's been brilliant. Look at you, Lucas Jensen, who they sold on. Lars Sorensen, who they sold on as well. And then they're even a great team to go for a loan as well. You look at a certain Mr. Taylor who went there and did quite well after a poor start. Thank you very much, Jake. Can you just pass me the money for saying that? Yeah? Yeah, thanks. Next opinion is Blackpool and Barnsley. Now, I've just mentioned Barnsley in the same breath that they love a 1-1. Well, I conceding. I think these two football clubs miss out on the playoffs by 5 points or more. Barnsley are phenomenal away from home. Can't break down a team at home. Blackpool, again, lost a bit of a cutting edge in recent weeks. Obviously, what's happened with Steve Bruce is awful. I think that's a good appointment. I think he'll do well for them. But I think the squad's very thin at Blackpool, and I think that they lack quality in a lot of areas. I think they're 3 or 4 players short, if I'm honest with you. I think the goalkeeper, Tyra, obviously has not been up to the standard. I think they're a right back short. They've changed formation a little bit as well. So all of a sudden, you're playing in a back 5. You now have to play to a back 4. I think they're a midfielder missing. I think sometimes that, obviously, Lee Evans is brilliant. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. Most chances creation. But I think in a forward area, who's going to go and get 20 goals? I look at Jordan Rose slow down a bit. I think Kyle Joseph is really, really good, but I don't think he's quite that 20-goal season level. He'll give you something, but I just feel they lack something. And Barnsley at home over the last 2 years have been really, really poor. And yes, they've got one of the best midfielders in the league, but they don't have enough in attack. Yes, they've got a Keeler Dunn just in behind. They've got a Stephen Humphreys. They've got a Cosgrove. They've got a Waters, but it's not quite the same level as others. My next opinion is kind of one on managers. At the start of the year, I said, well, 12 will get sacked. You've looked at Shrewsbury, a parted company with Paul Hurst, Burton, a parted company with Robinson as well. So there's a couple already. I still think another 10 managers will get sacked. I really do. I feel like we're getting into sacking season. And you're looking at maybe a Sean Maloney, but I think he'll be perfectly fine out of the managers that will get sacked because of what he bleeds for that club. I think there will be another 10 managers sacked. Bristol Rovers, I think, are on the cuff with their manager, not maybe kind of doing what they want to. Bolton were close a few weeks ago, but Everett's turned it around. But you never know in football. Another 10 managers will get the boot. Talking about Bolton Wanderers, I think they'll get 75 plus points this season. I think they'll get into the top 6 comfortably. I think that they have improved. You've kind of gone on a good run of late, won 5 of the last 7, drawn 1, lost 1. And, they've been in a decent settle of form. Yes, they've only beaten Reading, Crawley, Northampton, Burton at home in that period, but beating Peterborough in the last minute shows a lot of character and, slowly turn the season around. Shrewsbury came back from a deficit as well, so that shows character, and lost to Birmingham. So over the course of the season, they are improving. They are missing a bit of a John Daddy Bodvarsson figure up front, I think. But now they're clicking. I think they'll go on a good run and get into the playoffs. Next opinion. Now, Burton Albion actually do play tonight. I'm currently recording this on the 5th of November at 2:30. And they play Crawley tonight. So this could be very different. But I think Burton Albion will stay in League One. Now, they are currently 7 points adrift, lost the last 7, lost 8 of the first 12, unbeaten, no winning 13, and signed over 20 players in the summer. No manager. I think they'll stay up. They've got a good core there. Orsey, in there, Watt, Sweeney, Crocombe. They've got a decent squad, more than capable of getting out of it. It's a mid-table squad. I think as soon as they get 1 win, they'll go on a run. You've seen what happened with Cambridge. You get 3 wins in a row, in case of a week. If they do that, they're out the relegation zone. So I still believe in Burton, and I think they'll stay up. I think Rotherham United will also go on a good run. I feel like they've been so win, win, then they'll lose two, win, draw. But they've won three of the last seven. They are slowly getting there. And I think Steve Evans, when he gets on a good run, he's hard to stop. They've got a good team there, a load of new players. It's always going to take time to gel. I think from maybe Christmas time, I think I can see them going on a really good run and crashing into the top kind of top six, top 10. I think Charlton are a worry for me. And yes, they are currently mid-table and they are currently 3 or 4 points off the playoffs, but I do think they'll fade away and finish not massive miles away, but I don't think they'll finish in the top six. I think the metrics have been a bit alarming for me. I feel like, shots on target per game, possession, they are down there. The better when they don't have the ball. The better when they kind of sit in a low block. They get the forward, kind of quite deep in and kind of sit in and then can break away. Now they've got, Miles Leeburn and got Godin up to speed as well. They've got a good team. Nathan Jones experience at this level. They beat Birmingham, beat Bolton, but beat the better sides. Yes, they went away at Wigan and won. Yes, they went away, at Shrewsbury and won. I just fear for them. I just don't feel like they've got enough to kind of get them over the edge. They've had a good start, but they draw too many games, and that was their issue last year. They drew 20 games last year. I just don't feel it's sustainable. It's whether those draws turn into wins or those draws turn into defeat, because starting into wins, we could be looking at a real, top six like a Huddersfield are at the moment, or we could be looking at Charlton of last year where it's really poor. Wycombe Wanderers, I feel like Wycombe, when I look at their 11 and you go through it, some key names, Luke Lee, who's been out for several weeks as well, Kone, Udo, Sadler, Humphreys, Morley, Scowen, these players that, Low as well. These players are really good players, and they've got good players behind that as well. And, we'll be here all day. Matt Bloomfield was in trouble the first couple of months he was there. And taking over Ainsworth didn't quite have the effect that he may have wanted to. And there was a lot of fans getting on his back of a young manager because Ainsworth was a legend there. But it took maybe kind of 6-7 months of last year to get up and running. He had good results. One away at Fleet was a good one last year as well. But then you look from kind of the last 12, 14 games of last year, they won like 9 of the last 13 games. We're on fire, we're scoring goals. And this season, they've been scoring goals for fun, scored in every game so far, up to me speaking here now. Only in one game they've scored, one goal, or, less than two, and they won that game 1-0 against Crawley. So I think they're a phenomenal outfit. They've got one of the best 11s in the league. I think Birmingham have got the best 11, but after that, I don't think many more have got a better squad or a better 11 to 15 players than the Chairboys. And it's good to see because they are starting to inherit a new DNA of a new possession-based DNA. We are trying so hard to get to 16,000 subscribers. We are currently just over 200 subscribers away. So if you can push me over that line by pressing subscribe, it's free to do so. Also liking the stream because that brings new viewers in as well. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later. Up the Sky Bet League One.